There's an old saying, they say a single seed can grow a forest. Have you ever stopped to think about the incredible power held within that tiny seed? Today, let's embark on a journey through the lush backwaters of Kerala, where amidst swaying coconut palms and monsoon-painted landscapes, one seed stirred not just the earth, but the very fate of a kingdom. It's a tale as old as time, really. A young man dreaming of more than what life offered him. Meet Arjun, the farmer's son who tended the stubborn earth. His family owned nothing but a barren patch of land and a meager store of rice. Yet Arjun harbored a secret, a heart brimming with dreams. Each night as darkness fell while others slumbered, he would step out, gaze up at the star-studded sky, and whisper his aspirations to the wind. Oh, stars, one day I'll plant something so wonderful, so nourishing, that it will feed not only my family but the entire world. His nights were filled with visions of a bountiful tree, its branches laden with fruits that promised health and happiness to all. But daytime was harsh. With calloused hands, he worked the land, hoping for a miracle. Little did he know that fate had taken note of his unwavering determination. One sweltering afternoon, as Arjun toiled with his plow, his tool struck something unusual. Unearthing a small object that shimmered with golden veins, its warmth surprising in the cold soil, no one in the village had ever seen such a peculiar seed. Curiosity mixed with apprehension rippled through the community. Some claimed it might sprout into a monstrous plant, while others whispered of curses and misfortunes. When Arjun showed the seed to his father, his face creased with worry. "Throw it away, Arjun," he urged. "Such strange things bring strange misfortune. We don't need any additional troubles." Arjun, though, clutched the seed tightly. A fire ignited within him, fueled by years of suppressed dreams. "No, father," he declared, his voice shaking with conviction. "This is my seed of dreams, and I will plant it." His father, witnessing the unyielding spirit in his son's eyes, sighed and stepped back. He knew arguing further was futile. The decision, he realized, had been made. And so, under the cloak of night, Arjun planted the golden seed. Each day he rose before sunrise and raced to the field. There he watered the seed, not with ordinary water, but with his hopes, his fears, his laughter, and his tears. He sang to it, danced for it, and whispered his dreams into the parched earth. Then one morning, a tender shoot burst forth, reaching for the sky with innocent joy. Its leaves shimmered with a soft, ethereal glow. Days turned into weeks, and the shoot transformed into a magnificent tree. Its branches intertwined, forming a canopy that pulsed with a gentle, inviting light. But the most captivating sight was the fruit that began to appear. They glowed like miniature lanterns at dusk, casting dancing shadows on the ground below. News of this magical tree reached the Raja, whose greed knew no bounds. He summoned Arjun before him, his eyes gleaming with avarice. "I heard you have grown a wondrous tree," he stated, his tone brooking no denial. "Bring me some of its fruit, and I shall reward you handsomely." Arjun, however, understood the Raja's true intentions. He had heard tales of the ruler's insatiable appetite for power and wealth. Suspecting that the Raja desired the tree's magic for nefarious purposes, he refused. Enraged, the Raja's face contorted with fury. "How dare you defy me?" he roared. "You forget I am the law in these lands. Hand over the tree, or face the consequences." As the Raja's goons closed in, Arjun stood firm. He knew he couldn't fight them off, but he wasn't ready to give up. That's when he had an idea. Gathering some fruit, he smeared them on his body, covering himself in the glowing pulp. When the goons touched him, they recoiled in pain. The fruit's mild toxins, meant to protect the tree, reacted violently with their skin. Seizing the moment, Arjun fled, stumbling through the tall grass, tears streaming down his face. He hid near an old temple, collapsing at its steps, both exhausted and afraid. Just as despair threatened to engulf him, a wise old monk noticed his plight. Kneeling beside him, the monk saw not just the scratches and bruises, but the undimmed spirit in the young man's eyes. "Why do you fear, child?" the monk asked gently, his voice echoing the kindness of the temple bells. Arjun poured out his tale, his voice trembling with emotion. The monk listened patiently, his gaze steady and reassuring. When Arjun finished, the monk placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Your courage is admirable, child," he said, his voice resonating with sincerity. "But sometimes, to protect what's right, you must distance yourself from it." Confused, Arjun looked up. The monk explained, "Your tree is a gift, a seed of dreams, but the Raja, blinded by greed, sees only its powers, not its purpose. You must hide, not just from him, but from everyone. Let the tree stand alone for now, and when the time is right, it will reveal its magic to the world." Taking the monk's advice, Arjun vanished from the village, leaving behind the tree that glowed softly in the night. Meanwhile, the Raja, consumed by his desire for the glowing tree, grew increasingly erratic. Unable to find Arjun, he lashed out at the villagers, squeezing them for information. But his cruelty only fueled their sympathy for Arjun. As days passed, the tree thrived, its roots burrowing deep into the earth, its branches reaching towards the heavens. Yet a shadow of sadness lingered over it. That is until one day, when the Raja, driven by desperation and a sliver of hope, decided to infiltrate Arjun's field. Under the cover of darkness, he crept into the field, his eyes scanning the ground. Spotting the tree, he cautiously approached it, marveling at its radiant glow. Unable to resist the allure, he plucked a fruit and bit into it. The moment the juice hit his tongue, a wave of dizziness washed over him. But instead of magical powers, he found himself overcome with remorse. Tears streamed down his face as he confessed his wrongdoings to the silent tree. The fruit, blessed by the soil and Arjun's pure intentions, had a unique effect on him. It amplified his emotions, forcing him to confront the darkness within his soul. He confessed his corruption, his deceit, and his abuse of power, weeping uncontrollably as he unloaded the burdens he had kept hidden for so long. With dawn approaching, he stumbled back to the palace, his steps heavy with shame. Before the astonished court, he renounced his kingship, his voice cracking with emotion. "I am no king," he declared, his words echoing with newfound humility. "I have been a tyrant, a liar, and a thief." As he stepped down, the people looked on in disbelief. The Raja, stripped of his title and adorned with shame, left the kingdom, seeking solace in anonymity. In his wake, he left a void, an opportunity for a new beginning. And so, the seed of dreams, far from bringing ruin, had exposed the truth, paving the way for honesty and hope. News of the Raja's confession spread, carrying with it the tale of Arjun's glowing tree. Villagers returned to the field, their faces filled with wonder and gratitude. Together, they cleared the land around the tree, planting more seeds brought by the river's flow. From these seeds, a vibrant orchard sprang forth, its branches heavy with promise. Then came the day when Arjun, guided by the monk's wisdom, returned to the village. He found the villagers gathered under the tree, their eyes shining with admiration. They embraced him as their hero, thanking him for the gift he had brought to their lives. Together, they built a school and a granary beside the glowing tree, ensuring that its seeds were shared freely with all. And so, the people learned a profound lesson. Dreams, like seeds, must be planted with unwavering courage. They may encounter storms, lies, and even scandal, but when nurtured with care, they bear fruits that illuminate the world. Furthermore, they discovered that the seed of dreams doesn't belong to kings or rulers. It belongs to those brave enough to plant it. If our June story resonated with you, don't let it fade away. Subscribe and share this tale. Together, let's plant more seeds of dreams and watch them blossom into reality.